I think was a buildup of a couple things.
Can we go back to like the beginning?
Yes. I'm just saying, like, what happened today, I think, is what blew this out of proportion. With everything that's happened in the last few, was it been weeks? I forget when Andre was apprehended. It was sometime earlier in the month. But so Andre got apprehended. We were holding out at the hospital. I went back to the PD, ran his food, and I had a hit for the Besties. I said, hey, keep an eye out for the Besties at the hospital. That's when, Andre got taken care of. We got the transport going. And that's when all that happened. And I could not tell you how many days after was when we spoke. It was shortly after. It was a couple days after, though. I don't think it was the day after, but we had a conversation. And, I brought up the idea of suggesting that we look into... I heard a bicycle. Okay. I want to make sure we weren't being listened in on. I came to you on the roof and suggested that, hey, we have evidence against the Besties. I think we should, consider looking into this. We had the evidence. We had the information. You had told me that based on the circumstance as of right now, you said in your own words, I'm not going to sit here and, verbatim it because I don't recall verbatim what you had said. You had mentioned that, we have people dropping off assets that we're looking for. This is kind of a win in our book. And I had said, okay, hypothetical situation. Give me one sec. All right, sorry. I was saying that based on the circumstance, devil's advocate, that if we don't have an investigation, that only fucks us if something is going on with the Besties and us that I'm unaware of or not privy to. I said, I really think that we should be looking into this. And, I'll save our troubles with I guess the rest of that conversation, but it boiled down to you saying that, you were going to reach out tonight. And I said, that's fine. You came back to me, like an hour later, if that, and gave me the update that, it's something we were going to sit on and it's something that we may come back to. So I said, okay. And I respected that. Fast forward to Stephen O'Connor. We had that situation happen with Miguel Elmirion, and more specifically with, the Twitter posts. And I had some genuine concerns about that. I remember you stating as well that, we can't let that happen. And the other day, I think yesterday, I'm losing track of time here. I think it was yesterday in shift 1. There was a Lagar incident that happened. Are you aware of what happened or no?
No, I haven't been on duty for 3 days. Just for clarification.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So there was a Lagar incident that happened yesterday. It was like an hour and a half long chase. We ended up apprehending the guy. Interrogation happened. Nova was pretty adamant about making sure that his life was spared. And she said that she has a group of people that were going to be assisting with ensuring this guy's safety and making sure that he would live. So we got set up to move this guy to the Sandy Airfield. He got interrogated at BCSO. And when we showed up, lo and behold, there was a black jet on the airfield with, you guessed it, members of the Besties taking this guy into their custody. Now, I don't have all the details from Nova, and I voiced my concerns on scene after they took off, and I know Jackie Snow did as well, kind of just saying like, hey, I don't feel right about this. And that sparked the conversation for me to turn around and say, I feel like with all of these incidents, these individual incidents regarding the Besties, there hasn't been an adamant case or anything built on this. And before the Lagara incident, I was discussing with Sparks, a lot of what's been going on. And this had come up. And I even told Sparks that, in zero bad light, bad faith, I said the conversation with you and I was strange but acceptable. And I told Sparks as well that the call that Brian made and what you made, I don't feel like was in bad faith. I just felt like in the moment, it was something that should have been taken care of. At some point today, I started speaking to Peters about it. Peters got the idea that I was trying to dog on you. And in Peters' mind, I'm not going to take words out of his mouth. He's on objective survival. The point I tried to make to Peters was I wasn't even looking for an apprehension on the besties. What I was simply trying to express is if you have a timeline where somebody goes missing and we're expecting for their arrival, and there is a gap between that time frame, we are on borrowed time. And I tried to explain to Peters that I'm not even trying to investigate the besties. I'm not trying to go after them. I said I was given an order from Miller after he spoke to Brian, and I haven't conducted that investigation.
That's not what we told you to do, though. We never gave you an order not to investigate them. Let's clear that up real quick.
Okay.
We told you to prioritize the paperwork and faceless investigation at the time, and said we will come back to the bestie stuff. We didn't give you an order not to investigate them. That's a big red flag that you can't misword, because that paints us all in a very bad light.
That's fair.
That goes from we're prioritizing some terrorists trying to kill us all to I'm covering up a group of people and ordering people not to investigate them. That's two very different looks.
So
I don't expect to have that message passed around the PD about myself.
I haven't been going around the PD and saying that. Whoever Peters has talked to today,
I've heard it from 3 different people prior to today. I heard this before I went away for 3 days. So
who had mentioned it?
I don't need to tell you that.
That's fair.
But let me tell you, it's Peters and that group and that circle that was told to you. This isn't the first time I've heard it. So
okay. Sparks was conducting some kind of an investigation on Brian, and she had asked me to speak upon the matter, to what happened with that. And I made very clear on that recording that you and Brian did not do anything wrong. I made that explicitly clear. I said that nobody did anything in bad faith. The timing of it I thought was interesting, but that was the bottom line for it. If that's being misquoted, misworded, or misguided by anybody, that is sheerly missed out of context from other people. And respectfully, I've only told the 2 people that I spoke to at the time. So if that got out past that, then I'd like to know who's going around saying that shit and who obviously isn't keeping information to themselves. I had talked to Maeve about it, and she told me to have a conversation with Moss and Sparks. And that's when they brought me aside and questioned me about it. And I gave my side to it. But I made very clear, again, that you and Brian were not put in bad light from that. The conversation that we had on the roof, though, we played devil's advocate. And the only reason I didn't conduct anything with regards to the besties was because of that conversation. And I had waited for some clarity on that to see what we were going to do. That's all that boiled down to. And when I was speaking to Peters today, I don't think he heard that. I tried to explain everything to him, but it ended up being us talking in circles until we finally came to the bottom line that, listen, we are both on the same page here, that we have bigger things going on, that we have a lot of faceless terrorists, you name it. And we're doing everything in our power to make sure we all have our best interest for each other.
Yeah,
I have a passion for it. Yeah, go ahead.
Snow, hello.
Yo, where you at?
I'm just with Dice on Elgin Occupation. We're just talking things out. You're more than welcome to come.
Don't do too much dooming, all right?
No, I won't. What's there to doom about right now?
What do you mean? Everything. We're fucked. I'm coming. I'm gonna come and see you.
Yes, come join us.
All right, cool. I'll be there soon.
Bye. Carry on. Sorry.
No, you're good. I think what I'm trying to say is, or at least to wrap up sort of my side of it, in no way was I trying to paint you poorly. In no way was I trying to paint anyone poorly. I think everybody has a similar mindset on concern and a light of concern with everything going on. And we all have our ways that we want to contribute. And Peters, at the end of our conversation, pretty much said, he didn't pretty much say, he stated that we're at a point of just survival right now and that there's things that can't be prioritized. And I agree with him. But at no point was I trying to paint you poorly, and at no point was I trying to paint anybody poorly in poor light with that.
I think it's I am completely on the same page. Our oath is to protect and serve, and we should do that in every way, shape, or form we can. I think there's a point we reach where we realize that we can't respond to everything and deal with everything because we can only deal with such a workload. Our workload is filled and overfilled by faceless shit at the moment, and those are the people that will cause the demise of our state and everyone we know and everything we love.
Agreed.
If we waste capacity on things that ultimately aren't important in a life or death situation, like it kind of has to be, it is what it is. Like, I completely understand we have like a case with the besties. Brother, I was in front of them with 5 AKs 10 minutes ago. You were too.
Holy shit.
In Paleto.
Snow, you scared the shit out of me.
Hello.
But
Howdy.
like I've just said, we don't have the capacity to deal with that workload. We don't need
Talking
to
about
create.
Paleto?
I'm talking about just besties in general.
Yeah.
We need to put everyone and all the focus on the enemies of the state and not people that would cause a war for us. If I don't think you realize how much drastically worse it will get if these besties lot just go, fuck the police, we're gonna do what we want to do, and we're gonna shoot the police every time we see them. Because it could turn into that so easily.
They don't want to shoot us or hurt anybody at all. They are looking for faceless pieces of shit.
They are doing exactly like, they are on side in an illegal way. It's very obvious they've done that. If you actually deep what they've done with the petrol stations, it is genius. They have isolated a petrol station down to one, and they are checking every single person that gets petrol. It will isolate these faceless fucks down to not having petrol or using electric cars. Do you realize how much that assists us?
Oh, it does. I'm very well aware.
Not to
I'm
mention,
electric,
we
like
can
fucking
now
morons.
we could now go into the financial records of Mosley's and see who's purchased our electric car in, say, the last 2 weeks, and find out who's probably holding these cars for the faceless fucks that are driving around in their friends' cars. Like, it's stuff that we like can't do. And I'm not saying it's a good thing what they're doing, but
Not
ultimately,
right now, anyway.
this is
We
will.
can.
Yes, we will eventually, and 100% we will serve them for what they're doing. So we can't allow this, but our priority needs to be survival. I don't think you realize how drastic this is. We've got 3 weeks left of water. 3 weeks.
I'm aware of that.
We've got one petrol station. I don't think you realize one attack and one of these like tankers blow up. We've got days of water left. We are fucked. And pushing like torturing charges on a Besties member.
I never said I was pushing charges.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that, but like,
Yeah.
the point of an investigation is to ultimately go for that sort of shit. Yeah, it's just, and at the end of the day, they're just going to be catched and released. Going after them just seems like wasted resources to me. And if I can't be given a reason otherwise to think that, I will stand on what I've said of we just need to prioritize the faceless fucks. I'm not saying you can't investigate them by any means. If you want to go investigate them, go do that. I want my resources within Homeland to be focused on faceless though.
That's fine. Like I said, I wanted to have this conversation because I do think some of this stuff was blown out of context. That is genuinely what my side was of it, and I do agree with you from your side as well. I didn't mean for any of this to get blown to the point of where it obviously has.
And I'll be completely honest with you because I think it's better that way. I don't completely believe you. And that's just going to take time to rebuild.
Understood.
I think it's better I just tell you how it is rather than I feel a certain way and just not tell you. So,
No, fair.
it is what it is.